Senator Schumer. Chuck's often wrong. He never makes the same mistake twice. He makes it 5 or 6 times just to be sure. Many Democrats are angry at Schumer. We've all seen the news. He's about as popular as chlamydia. That, to me, says as much about the Democratic Party as it does about Senator Schumer.
Ah, yes. Senator John Kennedy, always fun, always lively. Talking about Senator Chuck Schumer, the Lizard King, about as popular as chlamydia. That's kind of a trick, though, because chlamydia is actually popular with Democrats. I think it's even more popular than monkeypox. They've abbreviated that down to Mpox now, right? Isn't that right? Yes, sir. Looking at all these Democrat judges waging lawfare against President Trump. They all went to the same damn schools. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan, put in place by Barack Obama, mentored by a communist, chose a communist to be the CIA director who corrupted our 2020 election. But the Democrat Party, they're not on our side. Judge Tanya Chutkan of the Obama administration blocked the Trump Environmental Protection Agency from pulling back $20 billion that the Biden administration doled out to their radical left-wing environmental friends. You know, they have these organizations they call nonprofits, and they all become very wealthy working for these nonprofits. Tanya Chutkan, amazing stuff. And James Boasberg, another Barack Obama appointee. And he, of course, went to Yale for undergrad and Yale Law School and then to Oxford for a while for another master's degree of some kind because that's what they do. And then Judge Jesse Furman. Hey, wait a minute, appointed by Obama. What a coincidence, the communist threat. And hey, wait, he went to Harvard for his BA, and he went to Yale for his law degree. Hey, wait a minute, he also went to Oxford. These indoctrination factories that we call universities. And then we learned that we're giving hundreds of millions of dollars a year to Columbia University, $175 million this year to the University of Pennsylvania, Ivy League institutions, both. And you see how the fix is in, because these clowns, their daddies get them into these schools, and private tutors, and their daddies went there and all that good stuff. Amazing stuff. Surprise, surprise. And then they rob the treasury of, well, in this case, tens of billions of dollars just in one instance for their environmentalist friends, for their eco-terrorist friends that are firebombing Tesla dealerships and shooting them up with, where'd they get the guns? They must have stolen the guns, or maybe their dads or something like that. But President Trump looking to freeze $175 million at the University of Pennsylvania because they have transgender, what they call transgender athletes. They just say trans. Aren't they amazing? Now, Stephen Miller, who is a lot of fun, Trump White House and beyond. Stephen Miller, he's got a Twitter account. He says, under what theory of the Constitution does a single Marxist judge in San Francisco have the same executive power of the commander-in-chief elected by the whole nation to lead the executive branch? No such theory exists. It is merely naked judicial tyranny. That sounds pretty correct, I've got to say, from Stephen Miller, who has been on fire lately. Boy, he really has. He speaks well. Is that racist to say that he's articulate? He's the first mainstream white guy to come along who's articulate and bright and clean. It's like a fairy tale, man. It is. Amazing. And Stephen Miller, he adds, it takes 5 Supreme Court justices to issue a ruling that affects the whole nation. Yet, lone district court judges assume the authority to unilaterally dictate the policies of the entire executive branch of government. That is very well put, 100% true. Man, oh man, about 700 district court judges around the country, and Benjamin Weingarten pointing out, any of these 700 district court judges around the country possess more power than any one Supreme Court justice, given the unilateral power to issue a universal injunction against the President of the United States. And they're all Democrat radicals from the same institutions that are still suckling on the taxpayer teat centuries later in some cases. Certainly Columbia University and Harvard University. Centuries later, still attached, firmly affixed to the taxpayer teat. And for what? Is incredibly successful, wealthy institutions. All of your millionaire and billionaire graduates should send you donations every year. They do, of course, which is why they have tens of billions in endowments, and we're still giving them hundreds of millions of dollars every year. Why? But the Biden administration takes $20 billion of our dollars. They fork it over to left-wing radical environmental groups. And when President Trump says, wait a minute, we're gonna pull that back, then one crooked judge, one Obama appointee, Tanya Chutkan, says, no, the president can't do that. I am a judge appointed by Obama. I will make this happen. Honestly, they are, what's the word? Crooks. Crooks is the thing. That's the funny thing about them. These people, can I just say, these people. She went to the George Washington University in Washington, D.C., but she did go to the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League institution in Pennsylvania, which is planning on getting $175 million taxpayer dollars this year, even though they've got tens of billions of dollars in endowments. Why? Why would we allow our country to be operated like that? What kind of a third world beep hole is this? As I've been describing for years, whenever the left takes over anywhere, anything they take over, they turn it into the third world. And our country is becoming more and more like a third world country. They're waving in Venezuelan gang members by the thousands, MS-13 gang members by the thousands. They're waving in and bringing them to primarily Ivy League colleges, but you know what's going on, colleges all over the United States. These pro-Hamas, genocidal anti-Semites, just like Nazis, while they're firebombing Elon Musk car dealerships with Molotov cocktails and other incendiary devices, shooting them up with weapons, with rifles, and we're giving them hundreds of millions of dollars. They've got the jihad is alive and well in the United States of America, thanks to people that call themselves liberals. Isn't that amazing? Yesterday, number 17, yesterday in the White House briefing, Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, was asked about these judges that are appointed by Obama and are doing everything they can to derail the Trump administration because one filthy, criminal, corrupt Ivy League judge is in a position to throw the administration off track, and so they're going to do that.
The judges in this country are acting erroneously. We have judges who are acting as partisan activists from the bench. They are trying to dictate policy from the President of the United States. They are trying to clearly slow walk this administration's agenda. and it's unacceptable. As the president said last night, we will continue to comply with these court orders. We will continue to fight these battles in courts. But it's incredibly apparent that there is a concerted effort by the far left to judge shop, to pick judges who are clearly acting as partisan activists from the bench in an attempt to derail this president's agenda. We will not allow that to happen. And not only are they usurping the will of the president and the chief executive of our country, but they are undermining the will of the American public, tens of millions of Americans who duly elected this president to implement the policies that are coming out of this White House.
Very well said. I've got to say, wonderful, wonderful. Not like Raggedy Ann in the last administration, who stumbled her way through her cue cards every day. And, you know, not this White House press secretary. She's on her toes all the time. She's articulate and bright and clean, just like Barack Obama, as described by Joe Biden. Womp, womp, womp. Also at yesterday's briefing at the White House, the wonderful White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, she wasn't done because, you know, this Judge Boasberg, another Obama pick, derailing President Trump's efforts as president of the United States, one crooked judge, another Ivy League Obama wanker. And honestly, it's like, Gordon Gekko in Wall Street. Eat these Ivy League wanks for lunch every day. Give me a City College guy anytime. That was Gordon Gekko. Gordon Gekko said that. And as a City College guy, I noticed that line in the movie Wall Street. It was a lot of fun. But here's Caroline Leavitt.
It's very, very clear that this is an activist judge who is trying to usurp the president's authority. Under the Alien Enemies Act, the president has this power, and that's why this deportation campaign has continued. And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist. He was appointed by Barack Obama. His wife has donated more than $10,000 to Democrats, and he has consistently shown his disdain for this president and his policies, and it's unacceptable.
And it's unacceptable. That seems perfectly fine. And headline after headline is now attacking her for mentioning the fact that the judge's wife, $10,000. Have you given $10,000 to left-wing, to any causes, Michael? I don't know, maybe you're not generous enough. Is that, but the judge's wife, and what do you think she's donating to? She's donating to left-wing causes, naturally. And the fake news media are very upset about it. White House rips judge as, quote, Democrat activist, end quote. And they're now they all the media, they jump in to defend the wife. They have no idea who she is or anything else. Man, oh man. And again, what the news media is all about, they got one judge that went to Yale and was a member of Skull and Bones and was picked by George W. Bush, who went to Yale and was a member of Skull and Bones. And as such, you're supposed to look out for your Skull and Bones brothers for the rest of your life, and that's what you do. You're in a position of power. You throw your Skull and Bones buddies on. But then Barack Obama promoted him in the court system because Barack Obama conducted a political analysis before promoting him, because that's what Barack Obama did, and that's what the Democrats do, because everything is a political decision for them. Don't you know who they are? You know that the all-new third-generation Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier is finally here, and it builds on the incredible success of the previous generations, which quickly became bestsellers and thousands of five-star reviews on Al Gore's amazing internet. Peace be upon him. This new Eden Pure Thunderstorm uses two technologies that studies have shown help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria and viruses floating in the air that you're breathing, removes dust and pet stuff and smoke and a whole lot more from the air that you breathe. And it gets rid of any odor, too, gets rid of smells. No filters to have to buy and replace over and over again, buy and schedule and all that. No, sir, you can hold one in your hand, a Thunderstorm. The Thunderstorm will help get rid of any stinky smell, guaranteed. litter boxes, stinky shoes, a basement, left-wing protesters, no match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. And right now, you buy one Thunderstorm, you get one for free. No matter how many you buy, you get an equal number for free. Buy 5 Thunderstorms, you get 5 for free. Put one in the bedroom, the teenager's room, give one as a gift, bring one to the office. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com, EdenPureDeals.com. Use the discount code ChrisBogo. Chris, buy one, get one. That's B-O-G-O. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ChrisBogo. Yeah, Judd, it turns out we've got a very corrupt country. And the reason is the left. They call themselves Democrats. Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at WashingtonTimes.com/Chris. Yeah, the media's the most corrupt institution in the United States of America. The filthies. They've got this ridiculous thing going today. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, brutally fact-checked on judge who blocked Trump. And that's the New Republic, radical left-wingers. NBC has the same story. White House targets federal judge, gets fact-checked in real time. And I want to share this with you because it's about the media lie, which is so big that no one would dare not believe it. But let's play the exchange because they got this NBC fake reporter guy who's at the White House. They should be banned from the White House. NBC, they're not a news organization. It went like this.
Judge Boasberg was originally appointed by George W. Bush and then elevated by Barack Obama. I just feel like I should clear that up.
Well, let me just say something to that effect.
Let me just clear that up.
67% of all of the injunctions in this century have come against which president? Donald J. Trump.
Garrett, what's his name? Hake, NBC News. I just thought I should clear that up, that he was originally appointed to the court by George W. Bush. I've already explained. These people just, let's get out there and scratch that surface. They don't exactly dig deep. George W. Bush was a go-along-to-get-along Republican, and he went to Yale, and he was a member of Skull and Bones, and so was the judge. And he picked him for a lower court, but was elevated by Barack Obama, who definitely had a political litmus test for the judge because of his communist upbringing. But it is rather ironic. The news media, they're defending the wife because she pointed out that the wife has given at least $10,000 Democrat causes.
It's very, very clear that this is an activist judge who is trying to usurp the president's authority. Under the Alien Enemies Act, the president has this power, and that's why this deportation campaign has continued. And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist. He was appointed by Barack Obama. His wife has donated more than $10,000 to Democrats.
That's what I said, that government money laying around the house. But the media's all over it. Oh, yeah, they're attacking his wife. Well, if I remember correctly, you guys spend all your time attacking Justice Thomas's wife, Ginny Thomas, who's a friend of mine, attacking Justice Samuel Alito's wife, who's the Democrats called her names that we cannot use here. The media. Ah, yes. Wackadoodle-doo. Yeah, I love the media jumping in to defend Judge Boasberg's wife when it's pointed out that she's given $10,000 to left-wing causes from the same people that attack Ginny Thomas, the wife of Justice Clarence Thomas, the greatest Supreme Court justice in the history of the world. And Martha Ann Alito, remember, she had flew a flag in front of her house, and the left and the media, but I repeat myself, attacked her mercilessly and endlessly because nobody's more corrupt than the American news media. What a time it is. What a time it is. Womp, womp, womp. I'm telling you. In Boston, they have a mayor who goes by the name Michelle Wu. Wu, like the virus, the Wuhan. Her name is Michelle Wu. I wonder if she has any relation to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. She's the Democrat mayor of Boston, and she was giving an address to the city of Boston. She's a Democrat, a left-wing Democrat, a radical as Boston. I think they all want to get killed. I think that must be the goal of Democrats everywhere at this point. And she doesn't like Donald Trump, so in the minute she had to build in an attack on Donald Trump because she's talking to the Democrat voters in Boston, and they had to take a break from firebombing Tesla dealerships. And, President Trump has only been shot once, I guess, but the Democrats continue to target him.
This is our city.
Woo!
No one tells Boston how to take care of our own.
Yeah.
Not kings and not presidents who think they are kings. Boston was born facing down bullies.
It was born facing down, and the kings and the Boston Tea Party and the British Empire. You guys are really tiny little brains. I think everyone went to Harvard and came out dumber. How do you get that dumb? Just amazing. Womp, womp, womp. It was also in Fort Myers, Florida. They have a city council. They have a city council there. And a city councilwoman by the name of Darla Bonk. Bonk, B-O-N-K is her last. I don't think I've ever seen anybody named Bonk before. And Darla, it's like, hey, Darla, from Spanky and our gang. Darla Bonk and Diana Giraldo, these two Democrats in the Fort Myers City Council, and they start talking about Trump, and they began crying, both of them, both women, at the city council meeting. There's no crying in politics, but these two Democrat women in the Fort Myers, Florida City Council talking about Donald Trump, and they were so upset that both of them were sobbing hysterically. They had to give each other hankies to dab the tears streaming down their face.
It is a tumultuous day and age, and this is a day I hate sitting in this seat. But my city's not for sale.
Thank you for your words, and thank you.
My city's not for sale. What?
I can't stand behind this as an immigrant, the only immigrant sitting in this council. I can't even express how heavy this is in my heart.
I'd deport her. I think she should be deported. That's what are you crying about? Well, you're an immigrant, and why are you crying? You silly people. The Democrat Party is, I think, an identifiable. Just membership in the Democrat Party is an identifiable mental illness at this point. They again, I got to check on this. I haven't looked at it today. But 5 Republicans in the state of Minnesota, in the state house there, are moving forward with legislation that would declare Trump derangement syndrome, TDS as it's known, as an official mental illness. Because, it is. And I think it's plain for all to see. Womp, womp. Now, why were these two women very upset? Because they're fighting against immigration and customs enforcement and demanding that the city government in Fort Myers, Florida, not cooperate with immigration enforcement. And this one woman, Giraldo, she was, I'm an immigrant. Are you an illegal alien? Do you want Venezuelan gang members breaking into your home at night? Councilwoman Bonk, amazing stuff, voted no. She voted no because they don't want to work with ICE because they love illegal aliens. They don't like Americans very much, or America. They're not on our side, not by a long shot. Speaking of mentally ill Democrats, Tim Walz, the man who would be vice president under the Democrat Party's plan, who claimed that he fought in Iraq but never been to Iraq, That's okay. When you're a Democrat, that just washes right off. The media is your shower. Ugh. No wonder monkeypox is on the march. The media is your shower. But Tim Walz has a daughter who I would guess is about 20 years old. Her name is Hope. Hope. Hope is not a strategy. But Hope Walz posted a video of herself, and she's, I don't know why she's spun up about this, but she really wants tampons in men's rooms in schools. And if you, and she curses here, we beeped it for you, the F word, we used to call it the F-bomb. Now it's just like and in any sentence when it comes to Democrats. That includes members of Congress and leading politicians using this very coarse language all over the place. Me, I speak on the radio, so I know how to speak without cursing. Now that I don't occasionally curse when I'm not on the radio, but that's another thing. So here's Hope Walz with a video she made of herself in the car that Daddy bought her with somebody else's money, no doubt, railing on and cursing up a minor storm over tampons in men's rooms in schools. And if you don't support that, you're beeping weird.
This moral high ground that certain people have,
Scoff.
And this talk about protecting the children and keeping tampons out of boys' bathrooms,
Mocking.
which tells me they didn't even read the bill, but that's a whole nother thing. Also, if you have a wife or a daughter above the age of 12, 13, ages vary, and you share a bathroom, you probably also have tampons in your bathroom. And the fact that they scare you and you're so obsessed with it is weird.
Scared, that scares you and you're so obsessed with it. You guys are the freaks. You're the weirdos. You're the dementos. You're the Supreme Court justice that doesn't know what a woman is because she's not a biologist. And you arrogant, smug, moral high ground, and she's tagging people. You think you're a moral high ground, as she obviously demonstrates that she believes she has the moral high ground. Just amazing. Always reminds me of the Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson when asked,
can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? Mm-hmm. No, I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
She's not a biologist. What is she, a biologist? That was Senator Marsha Blackburn asking the nominee of Joe Biden for the Supreme Court, doesn't know what a woman is. I think that should disqualify you from serving on the Supreme Court. You're too dumb to serve on the Supreme. You're too ignorant. And she was smugly snickering about it, too. Oh, I don't know. I'm not a biologist. It's not actually a requirement for knowing what a woman is. A woman is an adult female human. But great, Brooke, Marsha Blackburn should have followed up on that and said, well, are you a woman? Right? And that would stump her, presumably. But if she said yes, then she could say, how do you know? Huh? And then she'd look confused again. You're not a biologist, after all. How do you know that you're a woman if you're not a biologist? Wah, wah, wah. Our Democrat Party. They're really something. This is America, the greatest, freest country in the world, the most important country in the world is. And if the left can take down the United States, then the world will become one giant floating slave ship, which is what the left has been pining for since the Bolshevik Revolution and even before, but certainly since 1917 in St. Petersburg, Russia. You people. Man. And I want to play 21 anyway, because this is Tim Walz and Gavin Newsom. Now, we just listened to Hope Walz with her tampons for boys. They've got the emojis with pregnant men, and they think men have, again, this is Monty Python stuff. We played the Monty Python stuff many times, I'd call me Loretta. I want to be a woman. I want to have a baby. And on Monty Python, they were mocking that. Now the Democrat Party has animated that in American political life because of their mental illnesses. Tim Walz and Gavin Newsom And again, Tim Walz, remember him trying to load a 12-gauge shotgun, the video of him and failing miserably trying to load a 12-gauge shotgun. And he's a veteran, a military veteran, the United States military, and claimed that he fought in Iraq when he didn't. And here he is concerned, and his daughter wants tampons in men's rooms. And here is Tim Walz himself talking about the fact that he's apparently very concerned about his own masculinity.
This notion of toxicity and masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them. I think I scare them a little bit why they spend so much time on it. No, I'm serious, because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not bullshitting on this. Serious. I'm not putting this in people's grill. I don't know if my identity is not hunting. My identity is not football coaching. My identity is not, a beard and a truck.
Yeah, well, your wife might be a beard and a truck, but that is wah, wah, wah. Yeah, your identity. What is your identity? What, Iraq war hero? And this is such a circle fest that you got Gavin Newsom as the alleged interviewer there. Aren't they amazing? Wah, wah, wah.
I've not been perfect, and I'm a knucklehead at times.
These people.
I've become friends with school shooters.
That's part of his toxic masculinity. Toxicity of his masculinity is truly awe-inspiring, isn't it? Newsweek fake magazine with the headline, Donald Trump, quote, paving over, end quote, White House Rose Garden. He's paving over the White House Rose Garden. Of course, he's not paving over the White House Rose Garden, but at Newsweek magazine, they're not in the news business. Nearly 8 weeks after his return to office, Donald Trump is reportedly planning to pave over the Rose Garden as he looks to transform elements of the White House. Newsweek reached out to the White House outside of regular working hours via phone and email for comment. They tell us after regular working hours by phone and email via. The president has already transformed the previously minimalist Oval Office since his second term began. He has made some of the most significant changes to the room's appearance in modern presidential history. Barack Obama turned into a jihad cave where he had hostages. And I made up part of that. Having added gold medallions, gold vermeil figurines, gold eagles, and gilded rococo mirrors. And interestingly, they don't have any photographs of these transformative changes to the Oval Office, and they just he's going to pave over the Rose Garden. He's not going to pay. I don't even have to research this. I know that this is fake news because that's what they do. That's your Democrat Party. I'm just wondering if there are Democrats currently firebombing Tesla dealerships or anything else, because you know how they love firebombing places. By the way, their hero, Mahmoud Khalil, the jihadi that President Trump would like to deport because, for starters, he lied repeatedly on his application for a student visa, omitting his affiliations with radical Islamic terrorist organizations, genocidal racist organizations, and the genocidal organization that calls for the total destruction of Western civilization. So naturally, they bring him to the United States and hook him up at an Ivy League university because that's what they do. My name is Mahmoud Khalil, and I am a political prisoner. Sure. A letter dictated by Mahmoud Khalil over the phone from ICE detention center in Louisiana. And they love the criminals and the terrorists and the bad guys. They're just not on our side. By the way, because apparently it's the case at every university in America, Georgetown University here in Washington, D.C., researcher detained by Immigration Customs Enforcement, accused of actively spreading Hamas propaganda and promoting anti-Semitism. And the Democrats are like, hey, that's the best kind of free speech we have. Anti-Semitism, we love free speech when it's just like the Nazis. And then they call everybody else Nazis. Pretty amazing stuff. He's a political prisoner. You're a jihadi. I'd catapult you into the Atlantic Ocean. I'd build an extra-large gigantic catapult. Toss you as far out into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean as possible. Georgetown University researcher. He'll be, we got to deport these jihadis, and the Democrats, they want more jihadis. Hey, I've got an update for you on Eric Swalwell, too. You know, the communist, his girlfriend, Fang Fang, the Chinese intelligence operative. When you're a Democrat, that's fine. The New York Times loves it. Democrat California Congressman Eric Swalwell, who's most famous for his sexual affair with a Chinese spy who goes by the name Fang Fang, that recruited him when he was a city council member in California, got him all the way to the House of Representatives Intelligence Committee. Very, very successful Chinese spy, Chinese intelligence operative. Eric Swalwell was very, very happy about the war in Ukraine. And he was bragging on CNN about how great it is for the United States that we've got this war in Ukraine going, and that the money is coming back. All this money we're spending is coming back to the United States, and it's great. Forget about the hundreds of thousands dead in the war between a nuclear power, Russia, with the communist leader, Vlad the Impaler Putin, and Ukraine, where hundreds of thousands of young men, they're being dragged out of restaurants and forced to the front line. Eric Swalwell thinks it's great for us, for our economy. It's really a wonderful war for us.
It's been the greatest return on investment for any military expenditure ever. And as far as the return on investment for soldiers' lives, it's infinity, because you can't divide zero. So just economically, this makes sense. And the money that's being spent, yes, it's a lot of money, but it's being spent inside the United States to create jobs here.
See, it's creating jobs here. It's been the greatest return on investment of any military expenditure ever. And he's thrilled to be able to say that out loud. These people are not good people. These are not nice people. They're not on our side. And he's thrilled. And on CNN, they're very excited to sit there nodding and following. Oh, he's Eric Swalwell. He's having an affair with a Chinese secret agent. Has for years. She got him to where he is today. The Chinese Communist Party is the backbone of his entire adult life. And it's been the greatest return on investment for any military expenditure ever. Yeah, great. Great. Infinity, because, American troops aren't. It's just Ukrainians and Russians that are dying by the hundreds of thousands. And economically, it makes sense. Makes sense. The money's being spent. Yes, it's a lot of money. But it's being spent inside the United States. Create jobs here.